Hello and welcome back. This is Insti, and I'm continuing playing Discworld Noir. I don't know what that pause was there. It's like I forgot my name. Anyways, last episode we found Regin. Unfortunately dead. And we finally managed to persuade Sapphire to tell what she knows about Therma, and apparently Therma was the person who persuaded Sapphire to lie to us. And now we are actually waiting invitation to meet Therma, which should come to our office. It hasn't come yet, but I think I have to work. Let's see. Is it just going out and coming back?
Al-Khali was still following me.
Yeah, it actually worked. So good thing, because I was starting to worry that I have to go talk something else with someone or something, but fortunately we don't have to talk, so we can just get the card. This is of course, well, I'm not saying problem, but the thing with this game that, like we have learned already, you have to pretty much try to talk everything with everyone, and even then it doesn't always work. Maybe you have to come back later and talk again. There's some subject and get a new thing because something has moved forward. So yeah, I remember, and we have seen it already, but I remember when I first played this that there was lots and lots of back and forth going, that thinking, did I talk to him with everything? Did I ask everything from there? Should I try this? Should I do that? Yeah, sometimes that is a problematic. And again, on last episode we Sapphire promised that okay, she will make the meeting and inform that leave a note when on our office when the meeting is happening and where it's happening. And well, basically I thought we had done everything. We came here, no note. Now we just go out and come back in. We have a note. Fortunately, I did that because I was thinking, should I go talk to everybody again? That I missed again something? I decided I just go back and forth and see if something happens. And if nothing happens, then I go talk to someone and try again. Fortunately, back and forth was enough to make this card appear. So yeah, that is sometimes a little problematic with this game because you are a little lost what you should do, and like the boots, the rope, and using the notebook to boost a rope and everything like that. Yeah, let's just say that this it's not a perfect game. Obviously, there are some little annoyances you could say with these puzzles and talking, but the good thing is this game, at least for me, I do love the dialogue. I love the characters. I love the story. It's very intriguing because I still can't remember, only bits and pieces here and there, some highlights. So I would have to say that if this story would be a mediocre and characters boring and whatnot, then those problems, well, not problems, but the game design choices with solving the puzzles and dialogue would definitely become very tiresome in the long run. But anyways, I digress. Let's check.
I knew that someone had pushed the card under the door, and I knew what it meant. It meant that I should have fitted a letterbox.
Have arranged meeting with Therma on the rooftops at the junction of Sally Street and Phaedra Road. Come immediately.
Salis and Phaedra. There wasn't much around there. Nice and quiet.
nice and quiet. Sounds ominous. I'll think before we go there, where is it actually? Where is it? Octarine, Maudlin Bridge, Saturnalia. Ah, it's over there. I think I will go Rodan's workshop and see if I can talk to Malachite.
Well, I'm back.
Do I have the... Oh, no. Okay, let's see if I have the invitation here. Meeting with Therma.
It's not been easy, but I've arranged a meeting with Therma.
Take me there. Take me to Therma.
In a moment. First, there's a couple of things we need to discuss.
Take me to Therma. Take me now.
Okay. Let's go. The rooftops above Salis and Fedra were quiet. No one had a reason to be up here. I was looking forward to meeting the mysterious Therma, and I was hoping I might get some answers out of her. Unfortunately, the last thing I remembered was looking up at the moon. The next thing I knew, I was being arrested by the Watch. They told me Malachite was as dead as two sides of bacon, and I was the prime suspect. His back had been chipped away like he'd said something particularly insulting to a disgruntled quarry workman, and they seemed to think my crowbar was the murder weapon. I had the opportunity and a possible murder weapon. All they were missing was motive. And anyone who had ever tried to get an intelligent comment out of the troll had a motive to kill him. It looked like I'd been stitched up as nicely as a fine genuine tapestry. They took me to Pseudopolis Yard to be interrogated. They had a salamander lamp shining in my eyes, so I couldn't see what was going on, but I could hear Nobby and a troll talking in the darkness. It was probably Detritus, the first troll to join the Watch. Detritus was the troll many people in Ankh-Morpork thought of when they heard the word troll, bringing back as it does vague memories of sudden concussion and extreme pain. Sometimes you'd hear two short planks being described as thick as detritus. Your ideal street cop, in fact.
So I'm a good cop.
No, I'm the good cop. You're the bad cop.
Then, why don't I get to prod him a bit with my fists?
Because we're supposed to get information out of him, and it's hard to understand people talking through a mouthful of loose teeth.
I can smash lightly, more like a gentle caress, right?
No punching.
I can kick using minimal acceptable force. Like Mr. Vimes says, lots of it.
No punching, no kicking. We just talk to him.
Talk?
Right, well, I'll talk. You shout.
All right, you done it. Own up now, we know it was you.
No, not yet.
Oh, all right.
I've just got to start the audiograph.
Right. All right, you done it now. You've got to sing like one of them flappy twittery things.
Wait! I've got to start the recording properly, otherwise it doesn't count. Right. Interviewing suspect Lewton. Present, Corporal Nobbs and Sergeant Detritus.
Now?
Now.
All right, you done it. You might as well make it easy on yourself. Everyone know it was you.
This is my interrogation, is it?
Don't you change the subject, you miserable excuse for our horse's donkey.
Just tell us what happened, Lewton.
Here the facts. Fact. Mundy was killed. You found at the murder scene.
I was unconscious.
How you knowing you was unconscious if you was unconscious, eh? Foiled you with logic. Now you listen to me good, and then we see who wears the long two-legged garments. Fact. Escaped thingy, Mount Malachite.
Thingy? You mean troll?
Nah, not escaped troll. Escaped,
Feline. Escaped feline?
Yeah, he escaped from a holding cell.
Is it possible the word we're looking for here is felon?
That's the one.
What did he do?
Hey, we asked the questions, you miserable arugaraha. You know what arugaraha mean?
He knocked over the Van Uberwald mansion.
I never knocked over the von Uberwald mansion.
Now, that's what Malachite did.
So what does arugraha mean?
In the precise moment that dog droppings turn white.
I think you'd better get back to being the bad cop.
I am the good cop.
Now, I'm the good cop.
So that make me...
The bad cop.
So how come I not get to hit you then?
We can't beat him up, Detritus. That'd be police brutality.
It only brutality if you leave marks. What show? Escape thingy, Mount Malachite, was killed, and you was found at the murder scene there too.
Once again, I was unconscious.
Oh, how convenient for you. 2 murders and 2 unconsciousnesses. What about the murder weapon, eh? What about the crowbar?
Tell us where you got the crowbar, and I'll give you a smoke.
One of your dog ends? No, thanks.
I'll get you coffee. Maybe some cherry cake. New suit. You get to choose the colour.
I think you're taking this good cop role too seriously.
Thank you. Now my turn. You want to fall down the steps to the cell without leaving your chair? It's fine by me.
Okay. I'm a little sad that Malachite is dead, and I just realized I mostly speak like a troll. Anyways, protest innocence or say what happened. Can I do both? I'll start with the say what happened.
Look, I had a meeting with a troll named Therma on the rooftops of Salis and Phaedra. I'd arranged it on Malachite's behalf, and when we got there, I must have been knocked unconscious by the killer. I know it sounds improbable, but that's how it happened.
2 murders, and you happen to be unconscious at the scene of both.
You got to admit, Lewton, it's a little far-fetched.
You want I should make up a defense? You want I should lie? This is the Lawyers' Guild all of a sudden?
Just tell us what you know.
I've told you all I know.
How come you know Malachite?
Well, met Malachite in the streets.
I met him in the streets. He wanted me to find someone called Therma.
When you find out he was a felony.
A felon. And I didn't find out until just now.
Lewton, you're going down for murder. I don't think it's worth pretending you don't know who Malachite was.
I didn't know who he was. Do I need to draw you a map?
To what?
It just doesn't seem right, Lewton. You being a detective and all, and not knowing one of your clients was an escaped felon.
What can I say? I guess I'm not as good a detective as you are. You want to know what else?
I wouldn't mind that map you mentioned. Might make things a little clearer.
Shut up, Detritus. There isn't a map.
He said there was.
I kept following Malachite's case because it intrigued me, and the more I dug, the more interesting it became.
What did you find out?
I don't know. I guess I learned that I shouldn't have tracked down Therma. It seems likely to me that she's Malachite's murderer. Why don't you interrogate her?
There's no troll named Therma in Ankh-Morpork. You expect us to believe that this Therma killed Malachite and Mundy and framed you for both? Come on, sing like a pigeon on a stool. You done it, didn't you?
There's no reasoning with you, is there?
Not often.
Come on, you ugly sewer scraping. We want something we can believe.
That's enough, Detritus.
Sir?
You can go.
I did it right?
Let's say you were everything I expected. Now go and write up the report. Not in crayon this time, please.
That should keep him busy for a few days.
He may be slow, but he's not an untrustworthy killer like you.
Why the personal interest in this case, Vimes? I'm sure you've got more important things to do now you're commander of the watch.
My reasons are my own.
You're not interested in my guilt or innocence. You're just out to nail me.
Frankly, Lewton, I've got all the evidence of your guilt I need, and if I get my way, they'll lock you up and melt down the key for scrap iron. You're a bad cop, and I don't have any time for you.
If you're so convinced of my guilt, why the interrogation?
Nobby has this deranged idea that there might be some extenuating circumstances that we ought to find out about.
It'd make everything a lot easier if you'd confess, Lewton. I'm sure you had a good reason to do what you did. Let us help you. Cigarette? Holiday for two in Quirm, sea-facing room, we pay the minibar bill?
I'm not guilty and I'm not confessing to a crime I didn't commit.
Listen to me, Lewton. We're conducting this interrogation because I believe in upholding the law.
There is no law in Ankh-Morpork.
True enough, but there's my law, and there's the patrician's law. Which would you rather face?
What's the difference?
Lord Veterinary considers it a happy state of affairs if the punishment can involve the actual perpetrator, but sees it as by no means essential. I consider it to be absolutely essential.
But you've already decided that I'm guilty.
That doesn't mean I've proved it.
And if I prove my innocence?
That's not going to happen.
Then what's the point of this farce?
Smoke?
No.
The thing is, Lewton, we just want to find out what happened.
Do one decent thing in your life, Lewton. Help us close this case.
Why should I?
So we can close this sorry little act and concentrate on the threat to the city.
The threat?
The counterweight killings.
Ah, now here's the onion. Alternative suspect serial killer. Let's go with the suspects.
Surely you have other suspects for the murders I'm accused of, even if you don't think they're part of the counterweight killings.
Smoke? A set of the complete plays of Whell the Dwarf bound in nearly real leather?
No, I don't want a smoke. I want to know who the other suspects are.
At the moment, you're top of our list.
Although you are the bottom of our list, too.
I am the list, aren't I?
Sorry.
Don't apologize, Nobby. Listen, Lewton. There are other suspects for the counterweight killings, and we're investigating those. But for Mundy and the Troll, you're the bottom line.
Okay, host, Al-Khali, Therma. I don't think it really matters. We don't know where Therma is and who she is. I could go with Al-Khali. Therma is most likely suspect with Malachite. Well, I go with Therma because at least she most likely killed Malachite. And to be honest, Sapphire was in the area where Mundy was, so I go with Therma.
What about Therma?
Ah, yes. Therma. Your mysterious troll who no one else has heard of.
For all I know, Therma's not her real name. The point is, someone agreed to meet me and Malachite, and whoever they are, they have to be a suspect.
Do you have any evidence that this troll exists?
Talk to Sapphire. She arranged the meeting.
This would be the singer at the Parrot, right?
Right.
I don't know how to break this to you.
Try quickly.
She's gone.
Gone?
She's skipped town.
Doesn't that strike you as suspicious? Shouldn't you be following her up as a suspect?
We looked into her for the Mundy killing, but she had a watertight alibi. Face it, you're the only suspect.
No. Okay, if we are going through this, I'll go with Al-Khali next.
What about Al-Khali?
Al-Khali?
One of Horst's cronies. I think he's been following me.
I guess I could interview him.
Why do I have a feeling that you won't?
Face it, Lewton. You killed Mundy. You killed Malachite. And you tried to make it look like it was part of the counterweight killings.
Again, I have to say that it's interesting the idea that Lewton could kill a troll. But again, yes. Let's go with the Regin.
What about Reagan?
The dead dwarf? What about him?
Another murder in suspicious, almost ritualistic circumstances. He's a nobody, but it has all the hallmarks of a counterweight killing.
Are you confessing to the murder of Reagan?
No. I'm just saying that Mundy and Malachite aren't the only nobodies to get bumped off in mysterious circumstances.
There was nothing mysterious about Reagan's death.
People don't just drive carriages off a bridge for no reason.
He was driving recklessly across the city. It's probably just a suicide. Maybe he was just drunk.
What about the bite marks?
Bite marks?
There weren't any bite marks. I looked.
Reagan was murdered. I'm sure of it.
You've got bigger problems than that right now, Lewton. I suggest you concentrate on them.
Let's talk with the serial killer.
Doesn't it make more sense that both Mundy and Malachite were killed by this so-called counterweight killer?
That's what you'd like us to believe, isn't it? You make the murders look like the counterweight killings and hope to get away with it.
That's it, isn't it? You're not interested in me. You want to catch the counterweight killer.
You're just a low-life killer, Lewton. My job is to protect citizens from people like you.
What? You don't even like them much. You think they're all criminals.
Maybe. But murder leaves the place too messy.
Look, Lewton, we don't think you're involved with the counterweight killings. But we have to know which ones are which if we're going to stop him from killing again. This is your chance to be a hero. To help us to catch a foreign assassin.
A hero? There's nothing I can do to save myself. Why should I care about the rest of the city?
You were a good man once, Lewton. This could be your one shot at redemption.
I was never that good a shot.
You ought to know, Lewton, that you're a suspect in the counterweight killings. That crowbar of yours was palace property, which means you had access to at least one of the murder sites.
You're getting desperate, aren't you?
We're wasting our time with you.
Let's ask about other killings. I could use the information.
Will you explain to me why you're so confident that Mundy and Malachite weren't killed by whoever was responsible for the rest of the counterweight killings?
Everyone else has been sort of important. Mundy and the Troll were nobodies.
Quiet, Nobby.
You're crazy. You think you found a pattern and you're forcing everything else to fit it.
We're doing our job.
Honestly, there could be other connections, and there probably are. Anyways, I give up.
Nothing I say is going to convince you of my innocence, is it?
It doesn't look that way.
All right. Yes, I was in Mundy's room when he was killed, but I was unconscious. And yes, I was on the rooftops when Malachite was killed. Again, I was unconscious. I don't know what happened, but somebody knocked me out, and whoever they are, they're the one you should be looking for.
Fine. If that's the way you want it, that's the way you'll get it. Give my regards to Lord Veterinary when your trial comes up. I doubt he'll be as patient with you as I have. The fact is, mister, that with you behind bars, the city will be a slightly better place.
They delivered me into the hands of the palace guards, who delivered me into the walls of a holding cell. I had a bad feeling about the way things were going. Mostly people who were sent to the patrician for trial got seen right away. Rumor had it that being put in a holding cell pending trial was like being filed away in a drawer marked forgotten, and not a very big drawer at that.
Well, okay. Oh, that took a while. Quite homely noises. Let's check the cell door. There's some drawings over there. Oh, hello, rat.
The door to the cell was so stereotypical I half expected to look around and find a bearded old man manacled to the wall.
Not sure, but yeah, there's quite a few movies where there's a bearded man. Oh, rat. Can I check you?
Fast little fellow. He disappeared the moment I started moving.
Bearded fellow's locked in the wall. No stuff. What a surprise. Or... yeah, nothing. Can I open this?
I pounded on the door, but no one seemed to care.
Yes, that is usual. At least in Life of Brian, there's a bearded fellow on the wall. And I think some of the Mel Brooks movies, maybe. Robin Hood Men in Tights. Wall.
The wall to the cell had a nice dank feel to it. I expect it was Cell Wall of the Month in Home and Dungeon. I could find nothing out of the ordinary about the wall.
Okay, we can't check those drawings. Oh, crack.
The rat had disappeared in a small crack in the wall. The question was, where had he gone?
Can I do anything?
As I worked my fingers around the crack, it became clear that the crack was the side of a loose slab.
So... ah, okay.
The block was loose, and I was certain I could move it.
Good.
The other side of the wall was another cell, but nothing like the holding cell. This was full of sketches and models, tools and materials. It looked more like a workshop, and there was someone working in it.
Would you like a cup of tea?
No, thanks.
Are you sure? Or are they not drinking tea outside anymore?
Outside?
The city. I take it you're from the city. How is it? Same as ever, I suppose.
You're Leonard de Quirm.
Yes, I am.
I'd found Leonard de Quirm. The man was almost a legend. There was no disputing that Leonard was a technological genius. But this meant he was as dangerous to the precarious stability of Ankh-Morpork as a compulsive smoker in a firework factory. Rumor had it that the patrician had locked him in a nice airy cell for everyone's safety, because Leonard was the kind of guy who'd light any fuse for the innocent pleasure of seeing what kind of bang he could make. The only other thing I could recall was that although the guy was hot stuff at the nuts and bolts, he was definitely at the bottom of the class when it came to thinking up names. The patrician keeps you imprisoned here,
Sorry?
You're working for the patrician?
Not really. He calls from time to time and has a look at some of my sketches. Nice man. He keeps me abreast of events on the outside.
What's that you're working on?
This is my flapping wing flying device. I built a small prototype out of gutta-percha strips, twisted tightly together, and it worked. Although not very well. Now I'm building a full-scale model.
Does it fly?
Not yet. But once I've solved the problem of the weight of the holding it together frame and the mechanical faults with the spinning blades radiating from the central hub, it should do. I was having trouble getting enough force to twist the blades together, but the troll the other week sorted that out for me.
Troll?
Yes. He was staying in your room before you. He made this window for me so I could watch the bird. Always good for inspiration of the birds. Not that I don't have enough inspiration as it is. Damn things. Just once I'd like to wake up without finding my sheets covered in sketches of novel designs for apple peelers.
Did you give the troll some metal strips by any chance?
Yes. He made them into a metal hook with prongs, I believe. Not one of my designs.
His name was Malachite.
Was it? It's possible. I never was good with names.
So, we just met Leonardo da Vinci, and we have a Vitruvian man and flying machines. Cluttered table.
Covered with wood, wire, paints, drawing materials, sketches, cartoons, and glue. The table was either the product of a highly deranged or a highly arranged mind.
I feel a little attacked, but anyways.
There was nothing useful to me on the table. Well, nothing useful that wasn't glued down, or that I thought Leonard wouldn't notice missing.
Fine. We can go there, but
Leonard of Quim was a renowned genius with the usual problem that geniuses have with relating to other people. He was clearly one of those people who started to look old around 30. And he wasn't exactly bald. It was more like his head had just grown up through his hair.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have that problem.
Hello again, Leonard.
Yes. Hello?
What are you doing?
I'm deeply immersed in a mechanical problem.
Can I help?
It's not likely.
I kept waiting for him to say something else, but he was lost in his work.
I have a feeling that this place is something we need to use, but apparently we can't talk to him, so I'll check what we have over there. We have a gaping hole, painting, anything else? Lewton. Well, let's go through the gaping hole because we can.
Useful though they are, an exit is just an exit.
Okay.
The gaping hole had been created by Malachite to escape from the palace. Leonard liked to think of it as a window. At that moment, I thought I heard the sound of someone at the door to my cell. My heart leapt to my throat and narrowly missed my tonsils. I had to get back to my cell and fast.
Hello, Lewton.
Nobby, what are you doing here?
I've come to let you go.
Does Vimes know you're here?
Yeah, he sent me.
What happened?
There's a witness to Malachite's murder. Saw the whole thing, although not very well. He couldn't identify the killer, but from the description we got from him, we can rule out you.
So, I'm off the hook?
More or less.
Vimes must be livid.
I've seen him happier, but he's still convinced you're involved in this somehow.
I dare say he has a point, actually. But I'm not a cold-blooded killer, whatever he may think. Who was the witness?
A gargoyle up on the roof of the clerk's office on Salis Street.
What did he see?
I'm not supposed to discuss that with you. Come on, let's get you out of here.
You won't get any arguments from me.
Right, here's your stuff.
Where's the crowbar?
We're keeping that as evidence.
Yeah, right. I'll see you around, Nobby. Thanks for coming to get me out. I appreciate it.
That's what friends are for, isn't it?
Friends are for getting you out of a holding cell?
Could be. I ain't got that many.
You won't get any argument from me. See you later. I had this feeling that I was caught in the middle of something big, but I still hadn't a clue what it was. All I could do was keep searching and hope that sooner or later I'd stumble upon the truth. Well, maybe not stumble, just very carefully put my foot on it and hope the other end didn't come up and hit me in the teeth.
Okay. Now I'm checking one thing first, because I think we were in the palace. I don't want to talk to these guys. I want to go to the right. Am I understanding?
The palace walls were useful for keeping intruders out and keeping the roof in place. Looking closely, I could see the other side of the hole in the wall that I'd seen from inside Leonard's cell.
So now we can...
The empty...
Now we can actually probably scale the wall. Oh, there's the crap. Let's see. Does this work?
What was I going to do? Scale the walls with my bare hands? The palace wall... Looking close...
Come on. Come on.
It always looked much easier in the clickies.
Clickies. Okay, can I talk to you now?
Hello again, Leonard.
Yes. Hello?
What are you doing?
I'm deeply immersed in a mechanical problem.
Can I help?
It's not likely.
I kept waiting for him to say something else, but he was lost in his work.
I think I have a plan. Come on, Lewton. Not yet. Malachite's murder. Where is it? Because there's one thing we definitely need to do.
Hello again, Leonard.
Yes. Hello?
What are you doing?
I'm deeply immersed in a mechanical problem.
Can I help?
It's not likely.
I kept waiting for him.
Because somehow I have faint recollection that this is the place. Okay, because I need to enter the Archaeologist Guild. That's one thing I definitely need to do. We have to go see the rooftops above Salis and Phaedra. That's also true. Well, we might do that now. Oh, poor Malachite. Ah, I feel kind of bad for Malachite.
They'd put a chalk outline where Malachite had fallen. It really drove home how big that troll was. I couldn't think of a good reason to erase the chalk outline other than the giddy thrill of vandalism.
Okay, so we don't have... Yeah, I saw that gable over there. I'll just check if there's anything else. No.
The gargoyle's name was Clark's Gable, and he had witnessed what had happened on the roof with me and Malachite. It was probably the first exciting thing to happen to him in decades.
Right.
Are you the gargoyle that witnessed the troll's murder? Clark's Gable?
That's right.
I don't suppose you could talk a little more clearly.
Thing is, I have a gutter in my mouth. Have you ever tried to speak with a gutter in your mouth?
Have I ever tried to hick with a what?
A gutter. A gutter in your mouth.
Oh, with a gutter in my mouth.
Yes.
Sorry, I guess I haven't given much thought to the orally challenged.
That's okay. We're none of us perfect.
I heard you saw the murder that took place here the other night.
Sure did.
Mind if I ask you some questions about it?
Be my guest.
Okay, let's just... Clark Gable? Isn't that an actor?
So you're a gargoyle, then?
What kind of a conversation opening do you call that, eh?
Don't you get bored being stuck in the same place for so long?
You get used to it. Mating is a bit of a pain.
You must be incredibly patient.
Oh, I always have plenty of things to think about.
Such as?
Well, like, is it raining? Or doesn't that cloud look like a really big cloud?
Oh, the fun never stops when you're up on the rooftops.
You said it.
Okay. Do I even... Of course I do.
How do gargoyles mate?
Very slowly.
You can move, though.
Course. How do you think I got here in the first place,
Then why don't you?
Look, I don't criticise you for running about like your brain would stop if your body stopped moving. So don't criticise me for my lifestyle, eh?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cause any offense.
That's okay. We're none of us perfect.
Okay, fine. Now we are starting to ask questions and listen and Let's start with the Mundy case, if there's something there. Well, Azil, we might as well ask.
Does the word Azil mean anything to you?
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
Okay.
Can you think of any reason that Mundy might have been hung upside down before he was killed?
Sorry,
Okay.
Does 3712V mean anything to you?
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
Fine. I'm guessing he can't help me with anything, but I still need to ask.
I gave Carlotta's description to Clark's Gable, but he didn't recognize it.
Well, okay, there's that.
I couldn't help but wonder if Al-Khali had been up on the rooftops, but the gargoyle didn't recognize his description.
Fine. Ilsa.
Out of curiosity, I checked with the gargoyle to see if Ilsa or two conkers had been up on the roof. It didn't seem like they had.
Well, honestly, it's good thing to ask because he is a witness. Counterweight.
Do you know anything about the counterweight killings?
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
Okay.
Can you think...
Oh,
Sorry.
I asked that already. Regin?
You can see the Maudlin Bridge from here, can't you?
Sure.
I don't suppose you saw a carriage drive off the bridge the other night?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
What happened?
Let me see. I remember the carriage coming flying along the bridge. The driver was a dwarf, I think, and he went into convulsions just before the carriage went out of control. The next thing I know, there's someone coming out at the back of the carriage.
What did they look like?
My eyesight's not that good. Yeah. All I know is that as the driver went limp, the other person cut the reins. The horse ran off, the carriage careened into the river, and this other person leapt clear.
That's all you saw?
That's about it, eh?
Well, that was useful. So there was other person there, and convulsions. So sorry. So he was probably poisoned. Maybe snake. Malachite's murder.
Can you tell me what you saw the other night?
When the troll was killed, eh?
Has anything else interesting happened recently?
Well, I got a pigeon yesterday. That's a rarity. Mostly they steer clear of the rooftops that are colonised by gargoyles.
Putting that to one side, what did you see the other night?
Well, I can only tell you what I told the watch. I saw you and the big troll come up the ladder, only once you were on the roof, it was hard to make out what was going on because of the shadows. But I saw the troll get savaged repeatedly by some kind of creature, some kind of beast.
A beast?
Yeah, that's the best description I can give you.
It's not much help, but thanks all the same.
What for?
For getting me out of jail.
No problem. Glad I could help. If you could toss the odd pigeon up here next time you're passing, I'd be grateful, yeah.
Right. Where are we at the question table now? Therma case. Okay, we've done that. There's nothing here and here. Let's ask Jasper Horst.
As a long shot, I asked if Clark's Gable had seen Horst up on the roof. Not surprisingly, he hadn't.
What about the bestial attacker?
Is there anything more you can tell me about this bestial attacker?
Nah, nothing springs to mind.
Okay, okay. So far is done. Counterweight killings, I think I asked about those. Golden Sword, do you know anything about that?
I didn't want to discuss this with...
Okay. Gold-plated jewel.
The jewel wasn't the kind...
Okay, these are not things we are going to ask from him. Wine barrels?
Do you know anything about the wine barrels the milker was carrying?
Sorry.
Hiding place?
With the Assassin's Guild look...
Okay. Okay. I think we're done here for now. Again, I'm almost certain. Can I ask you about this?
Does this charm bracelet mean anything to you?
Sorry.
Okay.
I wasn't a...
Okay. Envelope.
I had a feel...
So nothing whatsoever. Chalk outline. I can't see anything for the moment on the roofs. But yes, we need to get the archaeological society. I'm guessing my idea is that we could suggest the Leonardo's place as a safe haven because nobody would go into Patrician's palace. Because we need to get to the archaeologist, Guild of Archaeologists, and we really don't have place to suggest Lewton's office, definitely not safe. Rodin's workshop, no. We probably need to go there at some point. No, not of any of these doesn't work. So the places I have has to be, well, with the places that I have, one of them has to be the safe haven. So the only thing could be that
a good-looking crowbar. It looked... Not that I'm saying it didn't need it, just that I'd figured I'd get away with stealing it.
Interesting. He said the same thing when I took it in the first time. Can I talk to you about Leonardo's place?
I'm back. How's Two Conquers?
A little better, I think.
What if I... one back. No. No. Let's talk about Bestial Attacker.
Do you know anything about some kind of beast stalking the streets?
I don't think we can help you with...
Okay, you can't help me with that. Malachite.
What do you know about the murder of Mount Malachite?
I don't think...
Okay, Regan.
Do you know anything about Reagan's murder?
I don't think we can help you with that.
Fine. Where's the... okay, I missed that. The problem is, I don't know if it's enough to just say about choose the hiding place. Counterweight killings. Oh, there's the hiding place.
I still haven't found...
You keep looking?
I don't have...
Now, how do I... how do I get to the conclusion that that would be a great hiding place? Do I need to... No, Lewton. Open Lewton. Nope. One back. Oh, I have to ask about that charm bracelet. But if I take this, use it on the wall.
Right under the patrician's nose. It was just crazy enough to work.
Now, is that enough? I don't know.
Right under the... It was... Useful though they are. Useful.
Come on.
Useful.
Okay. So is that enough?
I've done it. I've found somewhere to hide him.
Where?
Where no one would even think about looking. Somewhere that only the patrician and I know exists, I reckon.
The patrician and you? What if the patrician finds two conkers there?
Two conkers should be able to hide without too much difficulty. Besides, I have a feeling that if Lord Veterinary meets two conkers, he'll have a different take on this situation. He doesn't like to see useful people get killed. Besides, I am sure this is the only place in Ankh-Morpork that he'll be safe from Remora. Is it okay to move him?
He should be okay.
To be feeling much better in thankings. Sure he's not still delirious?
Sometimes I wonder.
Let's go. Hello again, Leonard.
Hello. I'm afraid I had to go back to the drawing tablet with the spinning blades radiating from central hub. It was too heavy. The device flew all right, but only in a downward trajectory.
That is looking like some kind of fluttering machinery.
Yes, I call it a flapping wing flying device, but it isn't working yet.
May I take a look?
Be my guest.
Are you to be considering the increasings of the wingtitude?
The span of the wings? I considered it, but the weight is still the problem.
What if you be using bombastic wood for the frame? It hadn't occurred to me that two conkers would have any practical skills, but I guess you didn't carry out complex excavations without learning a thing or two about engineering. I left him to get to know Leonard and hooked up with Ilsa. She had a deal to keep. With two conkers safely hidden away, Ilsa kept her word. She took me straight to the guild and signed me in as her personal guest.
Okay, but I would like to talk with Ilsa, if I could. Oh, I remember her. Right, that music. It close resemblance to Indiana Jones. The first part, at least. Bookcase.
It was only a small bookcase, but it might have something interesting on its shelves.
Keep your grubby little hands away from that.
I wasn't an expert, but I was pretty sure the hinged book was a switch of some kind.
Leave that alone.
Okay. And she's Laredo Kronk.
Laredo Kronk, the upwardly nubile tomb evacuator and the focus of the fantasies of 1,000 post-pubescent adolescents. I had to admit there was something about her.
Okay. Right, and the game is saved. I checked the fireplace first.
The fireplace was home to a roaring fire, providing light and warmth. There was something distracting about it, but I couldn't work out what.
Okay, that's...
You mustn't touch that.
You mustn't touch that. Okay, we need to talk Laredo.
Excuse me, can you help me?
That depends on what you want.
I'm new here. I'm just trying to get a feel for the place.
Are you a member?
Not yet.
What's your name?
Lewton.
Laredo Kronk. Pleased to meet you, I'm sure.
The pleasure is all mine.
Of course it is. So you're a guest, are you?
Is that a bad thing?
Only in so much as 8 out of 10 guests who confessed a preference stole something before disappearing.
I'm not going to steal anything, trust me.
No, I think you're wrong. You are going to steal something, but don't worry about it. Almost everything the Guild of Archaeologists owns is stolen, and frankly, they should expect people to steal from them.
Do you steal from them?
Golly, no! I never steal from any building less than 1,000 years old and with really exciting puzzles.
Right, but can I? Yes, I can talk to her. Let's just small talk.
So, what do you do for a living?
I'm a tomb evacuator.
And what does that involve?
It's a lot of fun. It means breaking into ancient buildings within which no man or woman has walked for thousands of years, apart from whoever it is who leaves all those medical kits, of course, and working my way through fiendish traps and puzzles, and eventually stealing some priceless treasure.
And do you sell the treasure?
Goodness, no! I'm far too well-bred for that. I bring it here, and have to watch as they slam it into a vault that nobody will look in.
A vault?
Forget I said that. Suffice it to say, the Guild of Archaeologists has a priceless collection of artifacts, but no one gets to see them.
Isn't that a waste?
Well, nobody said archaeology was rewarding.
Why do you do it then?
For the excitement, silly, and the fame. Everyone has heard of Laredo Kronk.
I hadn't.
Well, most people have. I was on the front cover of Archaeologists Monthly twice last year.
I don't read it.
Those long words can be so tiresome, can't they?
I really enjoy her. Tomb Evacuator. We need a game named Tomb Evacuator.
So, what does a tomb evacuator do?
Nothing special. I break into places where priceless antiquities have been locked away for centuries, overcome the elaborate and convoluted security systems, defeat my rivals, and make away with the treasure. Typical day's work, really.
So, you must be pretty rich then.
Oh, I've got absolutely pots of money. Anyway, the whole thing with the tombs and so on is just a hobby. And of course, it's great for making friends.
What? Among fiendish tomb-guarding monsters?
No, I kill all those. I meant people are always asking me things like, how do you get to the third ledge in the tomb of Tex-Mex cuisine? What's a walkthrough?
Never heard of it.
People are always asking me for one. I hope it's nothing to do with sex.
My mind just boggled. Sorry. Broken into anywhere interesting, have you?
Well, I knocked over the Grand Temple of Offla several times. Such sillies. Every time they get the Tear of Offla back, I take it. It's getting a bit boring recently. Then there's the Catacombs of Genua and the Temple of Anu Anu at Al-Khali. I don't know, it's all a little routine. I'd like to do something new for a change.
Ever thought about retiring?
I'd love to, but the public seem to want me.
Okay, yeah, my mind boggles too. Vaults.
You mentioned vaults.
I told you to forget I mentioned that.
I take it all the treasure that people find is kept in vaults under the guild.
I shouldn't discuss that with you since you're only a guest.
Worried I'm going to steal something?
Worried? No. I'm certain you're going to steal something. I just don't care.
Why not?
I'm very philosophical about this sort of thing. It's like I said, everything in the guild is stolen. It seems only fitting that someone else should get to steal it back, assuming they can overcome the traps, of course.
Right. Let's start the questioning. Okay, we are start Azil.
Does Azil mean anything to you?
The Mad Ascari of the Great Neph. Ah, yes. I think I raided his tomb a couple of years ago. Didn't get much, frankly, but what I have is down in the vaults.
The vaults?
Damn. Anyone would think I was trying to encourage you to break into the vaults beneath the guild, where centuries of priceless treasures have accumulated.
It's all protected by a hideously complex and brutal security system, isn't it?
Hey, you're pretty sharp for a guest. Yes, I designed it myself. You'll like the sawtoothed doors.
Right. I'm still a little puzzled why we are asking about Azil, because we know it's 3712V. So I don't know if there's actually any important information with Azil, but as long as I can ask it, I will ask it. Do you know about Upside Down and Killed?
Can you think of any reason that Mundy might have been hung upside down before he was killed?
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
Okay. 3712B.
Does 3712V mean anything to you?
Absolutely.
Care to tell me what it means?
No, but I promise that the answer is here somewhere in the guild.
Why do I not like the way you said that?
Probably because you have a strong survival instinct.
I don't understand.
You will, sooner or later. Mark my words.
Okay, let's continue. Carlotta.
What do you know about a woman named Carlotta?
They're no one I've had the pleasure of meeting.
Al-Khali is a name we already... Temple of Anu in Al-Khali or something like that, but let's ask about it anyways.
Do you know a dwarf named Al-Khali?
Oh yes, one of Horst's cronies. Well, some of the time. We've sparred with each other a couple of times.
What do you make of him?
He's a treacherous rat-like man, and you do well to stay away from the likes of him.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
So she knows that. Ilsa and Two Conquers.
Do you know Ilsa and Two Conquers? I understand they're members of the guild.
Why, of course. I have a lot of respect for them. Of course. They do all that boring excavation work, which isn't really my thing. Still, someone has to do the boring stuff, I guess. Not everyone can lead an exciting, action-packed life like me.
True. Counterweight killings?
What do you know about the counterweight killings?
Sorry, I'm not interested in politics.
Right. That we've asked Regan.
Do you know anything about Reagan's murder?
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
Fine. I'm guessing Malachite's the same.
What do you know about the murder of Mount Malachite?
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
Okay. That's nothing. Jasper Horst, you know about him.
Do you know a troll by the name of Horst?
Jasper Horst. Yes, I know him. Horst and I go way back. And I don't mean that in a good way.
How do you know Horst?
You could say that he and I are rivals. We have this uncanny habit of turning up in the same place at the same time, looking for the same archaic treasure.
You sound bitter.
Well, I always win, of course. But that doesn't mean I don't resent his interference.
Must keep your life interesting, though.
Perhaps. I could stand a little less excitement in my life, though.
Okay. Bestial attacker.
I've heard that a bestial attacker is loose on the city.
Try and imagine how much I care.
Probably... nothing. Laura Gronk.
I wasn't about to ask Laredo about herself.
Okay, fine. And that's done. Counterweight killings. Golden Sword.
What can you tell me about a golden sword?
Huh, you'll have to be more specific than that. Golden swords aren't that uncommon, you know. I must have evacuated about 30 in my career, and that's not including the golden daggers, golden lances, and golden kebab skewers.
I'm sorry.
The ancients seemed to think that gold was the best material to build everything out of, and I mean everything. The ziggurats of Tizuma had golden cutlery, golden swimming pools, golden bed sheets, and golden chamber pots.
Really?
Well, not anymore because I stole it all. But for a while it was very impressive.
Right. Gold-plated jewel.
Have you heard of a gold-plated jewel with the words Unquam Paratus inscribed on it?
That's the jewel Two Conquers is looking for, isn't it?
Yes.
He seems to think it's here in Ankh-Morpork.
And you don't?
If there was a valuable antiquity protected by an intricate and ancient security system anywhere in Ankh-Morpork, I'm sure I would have already found it.
Right. Wine barrels.
Do you know anything about the wine barrels the Milka was carrying?
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
Varberg crates.
I understand the Varberg crates were brought here.
Really? Whatever gave you that impression?
You've not heard of them?
If the Varberg crates were stored safely in the vaults beneath the guild, behind many intricate and cleverly designed traps and pitfalls, I certainly wouldn't tell you.
I get the impression that you really want me to try and break in.
What's the point in my sitting down and designing a security system if no one is going to try and overcome it?
Aren't you worried I might succeed?
No.
Okay, Überwald.
Do you know anything about the crate belonging to the von Uberwalds that was on the Milka?
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
So nothing from here. And that's it. We have asked everything. We do know that we have a mention of Lara the Kronk, so we can ask somebody. Maybe somebody else would know something about Lara the Kronk. But we do have inventory stuff. Let's start. Can I show you the tooth?
I wasn't about to flash the stolen tooth.
Okay. No. Charm?
Do you know what this is?
Looks like some kind of charm bracelet from Ubervold. Might have some value, but it's obviously not very old. There are far more interesting artifacts out there if you're interested, and just a little foolhardy.
Just a little foolhardy?
I mean, if you're prepared to spend your typical day dodging poison darts, falling weights, pit traps and mechanical spears.
Okay. Do you know anything about this coin?
Does this mean anything to you?
I'd say it was either a Sortian or a Sortese coin. Not especially valuable.
What's the difference?
Between Sortian and Sortese, about 2,000 yards. Sort was a city, the site of the famous Sortian Wars, and Sorta is a village, the site of the famous Sortian Wars tourist trade. Where did you get it?
It's not important.
You stole it, didn't you?
No?
Oh, come on, I can see it in your eyes. Don't worry, I'm proud of you. The disc needs more tomb evacuators. We're really not that common. And there seems to be a never-ending supply of tombs, catacombs, pyramids, ziggurats, burial chambers, wrecks, caves, lost cities, temples, mines, crypts, mazes, barrows, castles, forts, vaults, swamps, chasms, labyrinths, mountains, mausoleums, tunnels, and dungeons to raid.
Tunnels and dungeons?
And trolls and dragons. You'll get the hang of it, I'm sure.
I'm guessing that last part was something towards Dungeons and Dragons. Envelope?
I had a feeling that the envelope wasn't something I should discuss with everyone I met.
Really? Okay. Ah.
There were some curious scrape marks around the fireplace that caught my attention.
Leave that alone.
So we have scrape marks. We have fireplace. We have hinged book. The problem is, what do I need to do? Because one thing I could try. I'm guessing the numbers are connected to... I can't double click it.
I'd realized that Mundy had been hung upside down.
Okay. Yeah, I can't double click that information. Can I not do anything with this?
I wasn't an expert, but I...
Honestly, you're like a little child. Leave it alone. Honestly, you're like a little child. Leave it alone.
I do remember Laredo Kronk has bigger part with us, but we need something, so we have to go and ask somebody about Laredo. Probably Ilsa would know, and if we can talk with Ilsa, I'll probably ask about charm bracelet. Well, this is going to be, well, interesting episode, because most of the time we just listened in, so I'll try to, well, I definitely continue, because we need to have some action. Can I go up?
I examined it. Looked...
Okay, yep.
It always looked much easier in the clickies.
Okay, let's... Interesting, they're using the animation in this, but not on the skylight part. Where's Ilsa? Can I talk to you guys?
Can I ask you a few questions?
Well, we are a little busy at the moment. Can it wait?
How long?
Just a day or so.
No, then, it can't wait.
Very well. What did you want to know?
Okay, let's just talk.
What is that thing you're working on?
It's my flapping wing flying device. I had put it to one side, but I had an inspiration and decided to go back to developing it.
What was the inspiration?
It occurred to me that if I modified my turning the wheels with pedals and another wheel machine to turn the spinning blades radiating from central hub, I might be able to produce a flapping wing flying device that could be driven forward by a human operating the pedals with his feet.
Will it work?
If we can to be solving the minor problems, it might just maybe will be yes.
I do hope that we can see that thing flying.
What are the problems you're experiencing?
Mainly weight. If it is going to fly, it has to be light. But Two Conkers had suggested using bombastic wood for the frame, which is extremely light for its strength. I have to raid one of my floating designs to get enough of the stuff, but it should work.
If weight is a problem, why does it seat two people?
The patrician said he would be most interested in the device if it could be used to fly two people.
You don't know why?
Well, he said he was interested in how far you could travel in it.
Come to think of it, I suppose veterinary might be interested in getting a long way from the city in a hurry one day. Could you fly a long distance in it?
I imagine you'd get very tired. Still, if it were moving over a flat surface, you might get some additional lifting things up force reflected off the ground, which would mean it would be easier. I call this the reflecting some of your lifting things up force off the ground effect.
Well, this is all very interesting, but it isn't helping my case much.
Okay. What do I want to ask about those guys?
Does 3712V mean anything to you?
I wouldn't to be knowing anything what that was about.
Fine.
I knew full well that asking either Leonard or Two Conkers about...
Okay, so nothing about those. I'm not gonna ask about anything of murders. I probably need to ask about... Let's try.
Do you happen to know Laredo Kronk?
I'm sorry? The name means nothing to me.
Okay. Bestial attacker.
Do you know anything about some kind of beast stalking the streets?
Yes, you can use it if you like.
You didn't listen to a word I just said, did you?
Be my guest.
Okay. So nothing about Laredo, Golden Sword.
I didn't want to discuss the... This was...
Okay, Coldplay.
This jewel that you're looking for, Two Conkers, are you sure it's here in Ankh-Morpork?
As shoring as I can to being. Found inscription in hole, in dig, in sorta, leading to city here.
And what language was the inscription in?
Inscription in Sortian is being.
And how well do you speak Sortian?
Oh, at leasting as well to be speaking your language.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Let's show this.
Does this charm bracelet mean anything to you?
I wouldn't to be knowing anything what that was about.
Fine.
I still haven't worked out what this is for.
That's nice.
To be a coin from Sorta, that much is clearing. Had one at dig in Sorta, just like that.
Are you sure it's a coin?
Sureness hard to be.
You got that right.
So, it seems like we are at the dead end in here. I can't go to my cell. Where is Ilsa? Maybe she's either Lewton's office or Cafe Ankh. Nope. Well, Samael.
Samael, Mr. Lewton.
I'm gonna ask about Laredo Kronk.
Do you happen to know Laredo Kronk?
Sorry, Mr. Lewton, I don't...
Okay.
Do you know anything about some kind of beast stalking the streets?
Sorry, Mr. Lewton.
Now we are in the situation I need to find right person to ask right questions. Where's Ilsa? Anything interesting here? No. Oh, nope. I guess no one's here. No. Well, again, I feel a little sad about Malachite. Dwarf? Nothing but bollards. Octarine Parrot? I want to ask about...
Come to persecute me some more, Lewton? A man's gotta have a hobby.
Larida?
Do you happen to know Laredo Kronk?
I know a lot of people. That doesn't...
Okay, Bestial?
Do you know anything about some kind of beast stalking the streets?
Leave me alone. This is...
Problem. What to do? More notices? I could go back.
Learn the ancient mystic art of the Path of the Scorpion. Unique mail-order lessons on this famous self-defense method by Grand Master Lobsang Dibbler.
Right.
Missing. Small dog.
Oh. Anything on the backstage? Ooh, cosmetics.
Sapphire had a collection of Troll cosmetics. A granite filing stone, some colored sand, and various bottles.
Do I need anything?
It all looked like junk to me.
Fine.
The mirror was a sad indictment of Sapphire's misconception that there was something glamorous about her job. What do you know? I can see my face in the mirror.
Can you? Can you really? So cosmetics and mirror. Nothing else. I'm guessing the one person that probably could tell me about Laredo is Horst. Pseudopolis. Because I'm guessing...
I need your help again, Nobby.
Okay, Laredo.
Do you happen to know Laredo Kronk?
Never heard of him.
Oh, fine. Bestial?
Do you know anything about some kind of beast stalking the streets?
Give me a break, Lewton. I don't know everything.
You know nothing. So, Pseudopolis, Modeling Bridge, Uber. Anyone?
I see, sir.
Sir,
Who would...
Let's see, is Carlotta here?
is Carlotta home?
Alas, no. What a shame that Sir's trip has been wasted. Perhaps, sir...
Tell her I called by.
Why, my...
Okay, Count?
Is the Count receiving guests?
No. But he will.
Okay, can
I've got a few more questions for you, Count.
Yes, good questions. Go on.
Let's show this.
Recognize this?
Yes, I do. It is Regin's charm. I gave it to him.
Is there something special about it?
It's been in the family for years. I'm not sure where it came from, but I believe that the charms were carved from the wood of the serendipitous redwood.
What?
They were very, very old trees, and they grew very tall. Up to a mile, if the texts can be believed. The trouble was they were very top-heavy, and the slightest wind would knock them over.
How do they grow so tall?
That was the thing, you see. They'd fall over, but they were unbelievably lucky. They'd prop themselves up against each other like a house of cards.
Lucky trees?
Oh, believe me, as a student of flora, I have seen many such strange things evolve. Strangeness is indigenous to the Discworld.
What happened to the redwoods?
Someone cut one down, and the rest came down like dominoes. They crushed the fellow with the axe, I believe.
I guess they weren't so lucky for him.
So it's a lucky charm, okay?
This empty envelope belonged to Reagan. Does it mean anything to you?
An empty envelope? I don't understand.
Neither do I.
Okay, we have asked about those. Laredo Kronk.
Do you happen to know Laredo Kronk?
These days, the only people I know are those who come to the mansion.
Fine, I'm gonna ask this.
Do you know anything about some kind of beast stalking the streets?
I'm sorry, but I don't.
Fine, I think we're done here. We've been almost everywhere. Saturnalia, let's see if we can see the... No. We can go here, but I don't think there's anything for us at the moment. Or ever. I'll ask about the Lara de Gronk, and I think that's it.
Can we talk, or do I have to play that stupid game again? Business is slow. We can talk.
Okay.
Do you happen to know Laredo Kronk?
I don't think so.
Do you know anything about some kind of beast stalking the streets?
I'm just a croupier. I don't know everything.
Fine. Warp.
Hello again, Warb.
Lewton.
You.
Do you happen to know Laredo Kronk?
I don't know them.
Okay.
I've heard there's some kind of monster loose on the city. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Why? Why would you think that?
You've got contacts in Unseen. I reckon they must know all about the demons and creatures loose in the city.
Oh, I see. No, I don't know anything about that.
Well, I was a little hopeful there, but no. So I'm guessing I need to go and see the horse. I'm totally running out of options. Mausoleum, there's nobody in there, I think. I might check. No. So basically what we have left is either a horse or one of the crazy person in Temple of Small Gods. Let's start with the horse.
Ah, Mr. Lewton, it is always a pleasure to see you. I trust you have brought something with you that will be to my liking.
I haven't brought you the sword yet, if that's what you mean.
I'm a patient troll, sir, but there are limits to my patience.
Oh, associate.
So Carlotta's an associate, and Al-Khali's an associate. You still haven't told me what you mean by associate, though.
Let's just say that the three of us share a common goal.
I'm tailed by Al-Khali.
Why should I trust you when you clearly don't trust me?
A strange question, sir, and one that borders on insulting.
Send your cronies to tail me again, and you'll see just how insulting I can get.
Ah, I take it Mr. Al-Khali has been somewhat overzealous in his desire to keep an eye on you.
I don't appreciate being watched.
And I don't appreciate being made to wait, Mr. Lewton. Give us the sword. I'm sure you will find that all your other problems will resolve themselves.
All things to those who wait.
Patience, sir, is not something I have ever mastered. You should bear that in mind.
Fine. Tell me about Laredo Kronk.
A woman named Laredo Kronk is in town. It seems to me that you might know her.
Laredo is here in Ankh-Morpork? Really? I thought that we had dealt with her in the temples of Tezuman. She is full of surprises, that one. Would you do me a favor, sir, as one friend to another?
Perhaps. It depends on the favor.
But of course, your prudence continues to speak well of you. I'd like for you to arrange a meeting with Laredo for me.
It seems as if I'd be doing you a favor. It seems as if I should be getting something in return.
Very well. Arrange this meeting for me, and we can discuss the sword in detail. Do we have an agreement?
Works for me. I'll go give her the news. I can't guarantee she'll turn up, though.
Oh, she'll come. We have much to discuss.
Okay, we managed to make progress there. that was place marker. Rodan, Lewton, archaeology, Ankh, pseudopolis, modeling. I don't know. Okay, anyways, let's go to the Guild of Archaeologists and tell the good news. Oh, that's a dog! I want to see the dog.
I wasn't an expert on dogs, but I thought that this black thoroughbred dog was a Klachian hound, also known as the Kelef Klachani. Small, proud, and ruthless, the Kelef Klachani were prized by dog breeders throughout the Circle Sea. What this one was doing out on the streets was anyone's guess.
Can I talk to him?
I thought about petting the dog, but there was something about the way he looked that made me think twice, maybe even 3 times about it.
Okay. I'm guessing when we bring the news to Laredo, we can finally open these places.
I'm back.
Apparently so.
Talk. Where did it at the meeting? Okay. Golden sword, no. Well. Ilsan 2 conquers, Mundy, Regan, Malachite. Nothing. Well, maybe
I've got a message for you from Horst.
Horst is in Ankh-Morpork.
Absolutely. He wants to meet with you to discuss certain matters arising.
Super.
I have to say that it's probably a trap.
Of course it's a trap. That's what makes it interesting. I'll see you later, Lewton.
Best of luck.
You too.
Laredo made her way over to Horst's quarters and didn't look back. I had no idea what the two had to talk about, but I was sure it would lead to a new and exciting adventure, one even more complex and challenging than her last. For the time being at least, Laredo was out of the way.
And now we can do something interesting here. But that's for the next episode. Yeah, I'm sorry about this episode. We had lots of videos and whatnot, but that's how this game rolls. So, I do hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope I see you next time. Until then, goodbye.